Here we go.
Welcome back to another episode of Fit Quest. We're back from the New York trip. Want to throw a quick shout out to Alex and Brendan of Epic Hybrid Training. They have a Spartan race inspired gym up there. They put us through a really badass workout. So if you're up in New York City, go check them out. Today we're here. We have Paul Roberts. He's the owner of Sand and Steel Fitness. He also has a degree in biomedical engineering. Really smart guy. So we're going to come to him with a question from Debbie from Bear Lake. I don't know where Bear Lake is, so we must be getting a pretty good reach with this Fit Quest, so keep all the questions coming. So, Paul, Debbie wants to know how she can strengthen her upper body to get better at pull-ups and push-ups. So a lot of women have this problem where they have trouble demonstrating a good body weight pull-up and body weight push-up. A lot of guys have really crappy form, so let's break it down from the beginning and go through step-by-step how to lead up to these exercises.
Right. Chris was nice enough to put up a video for the actual technique for both the pull-up and the push-ups, so you can have a link for that. What we're going to show you today is the major reasons why people have trouble doing them, and also show you the progressions on how to build up the strength necessary to perform these movements. So, with any body weight movement, balance and joint stability are really key issues. If you have imbalances in your joints or you don't have enough strength in your shoulders, no amount of strength in your chest or triceps is going to be able to accommodate for that. So having a trainer, look at your shoulders and look at your mobility for these movements is going to be very critical to helping you build up the necessary form and strength to finish these movements with good form. Which brings me to point 4 here. 4 and 5, there's both this knowledge of how to do the form, which you can view Chris's video, it's going to tell you everything. But you seeing it and then you being able to implement it are totally different things, which is why personal training is very effective. You need to be able to execute on that form. Another piece in bodyweight movements here is core strength. And core strength is all the strength coming from your pelvis up until about your shoulders. It's going to be involved in doing any kind of bodyweight movement or calisthenics movements. And then your strength to weight ratio. Some people who are heavier are going to have a harder time, and people who are lighter are easier. So you have to set your goals and talk to a certified professional who's going to tell you, well, we need to get your weight down to 150 or 180 based on your strength in order to be executing these moves properly. So with all that said, we're going to give you a scalable system that you can help build up to doing both push-ups and pull-ups.
So going back before we move on, 4 and 5, these are so important because how many times do you watch Usain Bolt run, or you watch somebody really good at running and you're like, oh, I can run like that, and then you go out and you're flopping all around. So many people have this thing in their head, if they're doing it by themselves, that they're doing it the right way, when actually if they just saw themselves do it, that it's just completely wrong. So the right trainer and the right Group X instructor is great to help you point out your flaws.
Yeah, and a key term that's used is efficiency of movement. You can make a move much easier and much harder with proper form. And learning what that form is, you might be able to already do a push-up if you knew how to do the form correctly. Maybe you already have the strength. And learning that form is going to help you do more push-ups or more push-ups in a certain period of time.
Great.
So the most basic movements that you can do to help train push-ups is just an upright plank. And in this kind of position, we want to have our shoulders underneath our arms. See how we're at 90 degrees? If you have your arms more forward or more back, this is much harder because now we're pushing much more strength on our shoulders. So right underneath, and that's where you want your push-up to be. You're supposed to go right down to your chest, right? Anytime you move your hands further apart or in front, it's going to be much more difficult. Now, Chris also demonstrates some of the not so good planks you've seen, right? We have this kind of deal. We have all our strength on our hip flexors, we're really not working the right muscle. And show me a pike plank too. When we have our butt upright, see how in this position we're making it a lot harder, and we're also not training the right push-ups because we have more triceps. The further piked he gets, the more strain on the triceps we're pushing. Triceps are involved in push-ups, but we want to have a good balance between chest and triceps. That makes it easier. So for the next progression, Chris is going to demonstrate a negative plank. Okay? This is either called a low plank, and the movement down from a high plank to a low plank is called a negative plank. You want to be able to do about 5 of these going down before you want to go much higher. And to do a full negative, which would be going straight down, go down as slowly as you can. That's the movement. and then just get up however you can get up. You can get up on your knees, you can use your elbow or whatever else. And these negatives are a technique that can be used in a lot of body weight movements to get stronger. And once you've mastered these basic floor movements, we're going to move to a more advanced movement, which uses either suspension training or exercise tubing. We're going to demonstrate both. So this is a TRX suspension trainer.
If you don't have one, get one.
Get one, they're very useful. And basically what we're going to have Chris do is come down into basically like a standing bench press, essentially. Okay? And push back up. Make sure we have our arms high enough so we're not hitting our shoulders. Go ahead, do it again. Good. If you want to make this easier, you just walk towards your hands. If you want to make it harder, you walk away. You can also adjust the height of the straps to get that as well. We can do the same movement with exercise straps. They're going to work in the same way. He's going to have it over here. He's just going to push straight forward. Yeah. This looks just like a bench press, right? And indeed, bench press is very similar to push-up. If you imagine the ground was here, right? He's lifting up his chest. Good job. So if you can do TRX suspension push-ups and you can do exercise strap, where do we go next? And next is really to make the push-up easier itself. This helps get the right form. And here we're going to demonstrate what a bench push-up looks like. And why does this work? The higher we have this surface, the more weight he can distribute to his feet, less on your arms. So if this is still too hard, you can raise up your surface, you can use a wall. Or if it's too easy, you've already mastered this, you can do a 1-foot version, right? That'll make it harder. So now we balance. And we've also changed the load. So we have 2 points of contact on the bench and 1 on the floor. So we have more weight on your arms. Or we could just simply lower the bench and then make it harder as well. All right, so let's talk about pull-ups.
Great.
Pull-ups are
Everybody's favorite.
Everybody loves pull-ups. So we have 3 progressions we're going to show you. One using the exercise bands. And this is often known as a lateral pull-down. You see these machines in a lot of gyms. If you don't have one of these big gyms, you can use just an exercise tubing. And the idea, right, is imagine that this is a bar, and you're just basically pulling down the bar. It's the same movement as a pull-up. And you can make this as hard or as easy as you want until you have enough resistance you effectively tend to lift your body and your knees off the ground.
What happens after that?
Well, there's 2 movements that they use a lot. I'm going to put this down here. And so this is a pulling down version we just did. Another way to help you is to help push you up, right? And this is a band pull-up. And we use, these big rubber bands. A lot of companies make them, different weights. You can get they even make pull-up versions of these things. You just use a simple clover hitch to attach it, and then a foot strap to make it easy to pull up. And what we're doing in this band is basically lowering his body weight by help pushing him up. You can also have a trainer help push your foot up too.
Now, the key thing to remember that's also in the video is you're pulling your body up and your chest to the bar. You never want to chicken neck your neck over and break that good core stability that you're demonstrating.
Right.
So you never want to reach your chin to the bar. So every time you're doing it, no matter what progression, you always want to keep that chin neutral and come up and pull the bar to your chest.
Another good reason to do that is once you get really good at pull-ups, you're going to want to do chin to bar. You're going to want to learn to do bar muscle ups, right? And if you're only training up to here, it's not a full range of motion, and you're going to struggle to get to the next more advanced pull-up.
Absolutely.
We're going to do a similar variation with this with the bench. And the way this works, instead of instead of having him use a band, he's going to use one of his feet to help pull him up. Okay? And he's going to basically push off the bench. And you adjust this based on how easy or how hard it is. You can basically help give yourself a boost.
So you want to use as little leg as possible, correct? Just
Right.
enough to get you chin or chest to the bar.
Right, exactly. And this is good too, if you're banging out, if you've gotten, 10 pull-ups and then you can't get any more, you're exhausted, bring the bench over, you can get 5 more in. This way, next time you can do 11 instead of 10.
Great.
And the final progression we're going to show is basically a jumping pull-up. There's 2 pieces to jumping pull-up. One is you need a bar that's low enough that you can jump to it. And the lower the bar is, the easier it is to get over it because you can use more of your legs. So what we've done is basically lowered the bar with the suspension bar right here. And if Chris hangs down from the bar, he's got all this kinetic energy stored here, or potential energy stored here that he can use to help boost him up over the bar. And if this is too hard for you, just lower the bar to a level where you can get over it. As it gets easier, you raise the bar higher until you get to the full height.
So you're going to come again, just this one, you want to use as little energy as possible to get over, right? You're
Right.
gonna do as much with the arms as you can.
Exactly.
Cool.
And once you've gotten good at this, another technique that we use with the push-ups that's worth mentioning is the pull-up negatives, right?
Yep.
And so in a pull-up negative, he's going to start in a completed position and then count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and go up again, right? 1, 2, 3. These are much harder than regular pull-ups, but they're going to get you to be able to do more.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. Debbie, I hope the question is answered. So start with progression 1 of each and then work your way up. Every week or every time you should try to get a little farther and farther.
Right. These things do take a lot of time, and don't rush it. Focus on the progression so you don't get injured. And as you are struggling with the form, get someone to watch it. Get someone to videotape you. Make sure your form looks like what you think it does.
Yeah, there you go. Remember, 1 rep more each time is still progress. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll have you back again.
Thanks.
That's another episode of FitQuest. We'll be back tomorrow with another one, so keep the questions coming.